Today is February 6, 2026. It is 4:11 a.m. This is video number 2. Video number 1 was on PYTE. I was talking about Harry and Meghan, especially as ever video Meghan put out, giving Harry chocolate. I went over it really quickly, and I was talking about Netflix and Michelle Obama, an African American who sent warning to Netflix: if they're playing this game, they're gonna be canceled. And I will be on the same page as well. Alright, so go watch that video. It's on PYTE. In this video, we're gonna focus about the Left Behinders. There's a lot of tweet about that. That was what this last video was supposed to be about, but I started saying things on top of my head, and then everything went a different direction. Okay, so let's go on X. This is the first tweet. This I posted on my community board. Alright, social climber Edoardo Mapelli Mozzi only just realizing he's climbed up the wrong family. Alright, I did a video back in 2020. There it is here. I put the link there as well, where I spoke about him. I didn't say he's social climb, but I was sort of disappointed that, you know, he left. I think he was engaged with his baby mama in the United States. And then went over here. Whatever. I said what I had to say on that video. This is why I call it my thought. Alright? Called back in 2020. I should have said called it back in 2020. There's that. Alright, there's that. Phew. He left the very smart, accomplished, gorgeous Dara, whom he was engaged to and had a child with, for this family. Me thanks B, who uses her little blatantly and always stands by her parents, has been courting Saudi funds for her folks in Edo, and she's friendly with Pitch Morgan. And there's a thumbs down. Another thing as well, I hope now that things is not going according to what he thought. I'm talking about Beatrice's husband. What he thought was, you know, all sunny and nice being part of the royal family. He doesn't divorce her and then try to go back to baby mama and then bring headaches, you know, to baby mama's thing. But I hope she's already remarried. I haven't paid attention to her, and I don't want to bring spotlight to her, but it crossed my mind. I hope the baby mama, the architect, remarried, have a whole new family, and keep that child away from that infested royal family. If he wants to come and see the child, you know, do what you have to do as a father, but in the United States. Don't bring the child in the UK to be around these infested pedophiles people. Unbelievable. Here, okay, I just read that. OMG, I was thinking the same. There's the laugh here. His wife is okay. One of the few decent ones with them lot. Is she though? Then he dumped his baby mama for Randy and his daughter. Or is it the other way around? It's him. The way the squad respond, it's him. Will he visit his wife in prison? Probably only if he needs her signature. How much was Mom Fergie paid to get her kids to wear this hat? Alright, let's leave it as that. I don't want to go further than that. Alright, let's go to the next tweet. In one video, I said, I hope the baby mama, the one that's in the US, keep her kids over here. If he wants to come and see the kids, to come in the United States. I did say it a while back. I don't know which video I said it. But when so many things were popping up, you know, crazy things usually come in my mind, and I share them with you. I was like, I hope the mom don't let her kid to be in that royal circle. I understand he might want to see the half sibling or something like that, but at least for her kid to be over there under that institution, no. Alright, they lie to protect others, but will not tell the truth to protect me. That was Meghan who said it in the interview. Worst royal crisis in 85 years. Okay, this is how the UK tabloid was painting Harry and Meghan for the Oprah interview. Alright, truer words were never spoken, Harry and Meghan. August 2023, King Charles III, Camilla, Kate Middleton, and Prince William stood in solidarity with pedophilia Prince Andrew while they knew Epstein went to jail for child sex offenses. They knew the late Queen had paid $12 million pound, 12 million pound, hush money to silence a victim, royal family. Alright, so there's that. That's when okay, the other day I was thinking in one of my video where, oh, that's not the image, where Andrew was next to the queen all happy. I think it was after she paid Virginia, and he thought that his problem was over. But there's more to come. Back in the fall, Prince Andrew joined Princess Kate, William, and Charles for first summer holiday break at Balmoral since Queen's death. That is aging well or this. William and Kate will prefer Andrew as neighbor over Harry and Meghan, claims royal commentator. West Royal crisis in 85 years. Did the squad did that? Should read like this. Okay, so the squad probably did that. Should read like this. I'll do what they do. Okay, there's that. Let's pause this. This is the last one. I've been thinking to these words non-stop for a few days. Next tweet. I'm just glad Harry and Meghan are not in that crazy thing. I have zero sympathy for the royal family. We literally warned them for years to handle Andrew and stop allowing the abuse of Meghan. At any moment, any one of them could and should have defended Harry and Meghan. It said it had to come to this because it was also preventable. Yeah, that is true. They've been covering for sex abusers for too long. They should also denounce Mountbatten long ago. Yeah, this is why I've been saying is that the Russian, they knew this is how they roll. The royal family, they knew this is how they roll. This is the kind of kinky stuff they love to do. So what Russia did is pretty much cater to it and document it and then hold it against them. Alright, a system that participates in an elite untouchable ring will never ever see the light. The only crime in that system is breaking the oath of silence Diana knew and paid with her life for her courage. They are trying to do the same to her son and American wife. Well, Harry and Meghan did not. Okay, I think Harry knew. Harry knew. This is why when he was leaving, he said he wanted a peaceful life and he wished that the collective voice would be much bigger than us. I'll put the part. Okay, I've mentioned it many times in some of my videos.
But I hope that helps you understand what it had come to. That I would step my family back from all I have ever known. To take a step forward into what I hope can be a more peaceful life. When I lost my mum 23 years ago, you took me under your wing. You looked out for me for so long, but the media is a powerful force. And my hope is one day our collective support for each other can be more powerful, because this is so much bigger than just us.
He never mentioned it. He circled around it, but never mentioned it. Now, what's going on here is, I mean, we saw it coming. Alright, there's to comment under this. Harry never touched that topic at all because he knew there is one more crime in that system. It's marrying a black woman or any person of color. The Epstein files said that they didn't like black women. Yeah, I read that. Where did I mention? I could have mentioned in one of my videos. The thing is that, I don't know. It's like they do not want resistance. They're showing they are tough, but they know the only group that is not afraid of them that could show resistance are black people. So this is why they're trying to get every other group to be against black. I have said it's like they use our skin color as a passport for mistreatment. Everywhere they go, they give. We go in a space where we're minding our own business. They make the space uncomfortable for us, even though we're minding our own business. So they've been trying to eliminate us because we are the resistance. Okay? We are the resistance, and they do not want resistance. The way the system, when Trump was getting in office, it's step by step. Because they wanted to isolate African Americans so they don't have other group to fight. So they know the other groups will be the one that will easily bend the knee. They went after the gangs, okay, which create everybody, myself or any other group that they eventually will isolate all the other group to go against the gangs. And he got that. He got the government and the people to go with him to get rid of the gangs, because families just want peace. Okay, they study us. And then they go after the next group, the immigrants who don't have that much voice in the United States that much anyway. So they go after that. Okay, now the group is getting shorter. Now what group did they go after? Hispanic, and then they go after some Asians, and they go after other groups. So now we are here where they wanted to go after African Americans. Okay, you see how they keep on dividing. Now the next group they were going after was African American. And each group, they cater them in a different form. So when it comes to African American, because African American like to go protest, they've been at it. This is why I say immigrants should respect the foundational African Americans. Respect them and understand and listen to them. That's the thing. You need to listen to them, because they've been at it for a very long time. So when it comes to go to get whites to go after African Americans, guess what? African American then show up. Okay, that's by doing the protests, do all of that. Then they will have the dogs, the fire hose, all of this. They were ready, or even bullets ready for us. African Americans said, nope, this is what you voted for, this is your problem, you deal with it. So now what they doing, because this is where they are, the phase that they are. And you see how quick Trump went through all of the things that African American helped build up to bring immigrants in. Now we are, well, Trump did say, go MAGA, make America great again, to go back to the old ways. But the phase that they are in, it's not going accordingly. So now what they're doing now they have to go back to the drawing board. They can't get African American on the street, even though they tried to stop them. Look at Don Lennon. They arrest him, and they thought that would get people out there still. Nope. And we did it the legal way. I don't remember how he went. You know what? Let me look it up since it's in my mind. Maybe I'll learn something. This is what happened when I keep on talking. I asked, how did Don Lemon get released from jail? Don Lemon was released from federal custody in Los Angeles on January 30th, 2026 on his own recognition without having to post bail. Following his arrest regarding Minnesota church protests, a federal judge allowed his release after he was charged with interfering with religious service. I read in one of my comments, someone was like, they agree that he was, because of the church, the institution of secrecy of things, they were for it. He should not do that. But when you look at it, okay, the moment that become a little bit a no for me, I understand. For me, you don't need to be in a church to talk to God. That's one thing. But I do respect the house of, of church and the religious aspect of it. Yes, there have to be respect somewhere. But the moment it become a no for me, if the person who's standing in front of the congressional preaching about God, but he's doing those kind of things in the background, this is where it's a yin-yang kind of thing. I'm not telling people to go do just because, but in my own perspective, it's a give and take. It's a give and take. But whatever. I don't think I explained it properly, but I probably still not gonna explain it properly. But the thing for me, you have someone who's standing in front of a church telling the people who's listening to you. You don't know what information that's coming out of this guy's mouth, preaching to the people, and then try to convert their mind to something where those people might act upon his words. But he's standing in front of a church preaching the word of God, but his action is completely against God's teaching. So when is the right time to confront this type of people? Maybe this is it. When is the right time to confront people who's holding the Bible, thinking that they are like the bridge from the people to God. They like a bridge, okay, trying to connect people with God, but yet his behavior and action is completely against God. When he's not standing in front of a church, he's doing his action is doing things that they did to Jesus to crucify Jesus. So when is the right time to confront these people? Right? So this is where I'm like, I don't know, but when is the right time? There has to be a time to confront these people. So for this particular preacher, it happened to be they went on the church, in his church, to confront him. And then most likely those churches are tax exempt because they are a religious thing. Because in the United States, I think if you're house of worship or something like that, there is tax exempt. They don't pay tax because of their status. And then these people who's listening to him have to follow all laws, pay tax, and probably donate to the church and all of that. And yet this guy stood in front of a church, preaching the word of God, but his behavior when he's not standing in front of at the altar preaching, he's doing exactly what those women did to Jesus, to crucify him. I don't know. So that's that. I hope I make sense with this. Let's get back to the original recording. So he got released because I was starting to see flyers on X where I think they put a date for people to go protest to release him. I'm like, no. Okay, sometimes I hate to say someone can take the for the rest. That's the thought. That's the thought. One can take it for the rest, but they want people to be out there. And if I'm not mistaken, there's like 4 other journalists that were arrested. Okay, and they all were black. Let me look that up as well. It's not 4, it's 2. Okay, Don Lennon and Georgia Ford. Okay, the question that I asked Google: how many black journalists were arrested by ICE? Based on report from late January 2026, federal agent arrested 2 prominent black journalists, Don Lennon and Georgia Ford, in connection with January 18, 2026 in Minnesota church. Okay, so I thought there were 4 for some reason. But the thing is that they're trying. They really want black people to come out. So they're going after black journalists to get African American out there. But the goal remained the same. No. Okay? We're not gonna do that. But anyway, why did I bring all of this? I don't know. From the Epstein royal family to immigrants. So many things all at once. A system that participates in an elite untouchable rank will never ever see the light. The only crime is that system is breaking the oath of silence Diana knew and paid with her life for her courage. They are trying to do the same to her son and American wife. Okay. Like I said, Harry didn't really touch that topic at all. But I think he knew, but he wanted our collective voice will be much powerful. Because what he saw was much bigger than just him. Okay? That's the thing here. What Harry saw, he cannot do it all alone. That's what he was telling us. It was much bigger than him. There's too many things that was going on. And ever since he left, he's been minding his own business, focusing on his work, Better Up, Invictus, and they dismantle his Santa Bali thing. So he's been minding his own business. Meghan been minding her own business. So since the point of view, they haven't really, in the docuseries, they haven't touched anything with the royal family. The only thing I would say Harry is touching because of the lawsuit and his security and what's going on in the UK. Okay, over the weekend I'll try. Hopefully there's no new news that's coming out to prevent me from looking and searching about the lawsuit, because I think there's a lot going on. They don't come on my timeline. I don't know. Alright. After what's on the screen, I go to the next one. Just one adjustment. This framing assumes that pedro behavior is significantly beyond the norm for this class of people. Consider that small pool procreating incest disposable wives, lovers, rivals, brutality of the ism, and the bacchanality of it all within the past 3 to 5 generations. They've seen it before. But now it seems like the rest of the world is looking at it. I don't know. They had their thing, the way Russia and all these people had they had it going on in phases to release all of that. I don't know. I just hope the people, the key thing here is the people, don't let this go. Because if they let this go, who knows? Their kids might be next under these people's, I don't know, what they find fun with their children. Okay? What they do with those kids. Who knows? Your kids might be next with these people. So we cannot let this turn a blind eye. No sympathy, even though Beatrice and Eugenie. I used to give a pass for Eugenie, but hey, it would have been preventable if Philip was his rightful father. What? Oh, okay. A lot of people are saying Andrew was outside of the marriage, whatever. Charles and William protected the pedophile while punishing their son and brother for marrying a black woman and having biracial children. Charles took away his son's home and security and then offered him another one, took away his security, there it is, and money, but it takes care of Andrew. I don't know. I really don't know. There was something I was gonna say. Oh, the parallel sometimes that I see what's going on between Harry and Meghan and the overall things. Okay, when you see the thing with Epstein, he did not want black girls to be on his island because of resistance. And Meghan, you could see here, even though Meghan is minding her own business, they're trying to put her down, but she focused on her work. And you see, the thing that they try to do to Harry and Meghan, it's not happening. To be in need of money, that they are making their own money. The resistance that I'm trying to say is that, they didn't want black people, black girls on their island because there's always that fighting within black people. They train us. They train black people, especially foundational black Americans. They train them without knowing to be on alert all the time. And when they sense some irregularity within their space, they know, foundational black American, they know how to react. So because they know this type of resistance within foundational black American, so they said, don't bring them here. We just want the group that could be in compliance. That's why they did not want black people on their island. The parallel you could say, or that I see, is that the royal family, they're pretty much the epitome. They like right at the top of racism. What they were trying to do to Harry and Meghan is to deprive them of funds, whatever you could consider, anything that would make someone be livable. You need food, shelter, clothing, money to be able to do things that you want to do. So they were trying to deprive Harry and Meghan from those aspects of things. And they even show us when they left, when Harry and Meghan left, the thing that they were hoping or they were planning for Harry and Meghan to be in need of. Okay, they show them Harry's working at McDonald's, Harry and Meghan begging for money and things like that. That's what they had. So the parallel here is that, when I say parallel between what's going on pretty much globally, or the United States, you could say, what Trump was trying to do to the people, and the parallel with Harry and Meghan is that the survival, the pushback, the resistance of Harry and Meghan, even though they're not pointing their resistance directly to their enemies, which is the royal family, they're just doing things to be able to survive Meghan is doing her as ever, and I have spoken about where I said, oh my God, this is like a very risky thing. Not everybody has that kind of guts to be able to do the thing that she's doing with as ever. Not that is a bad thing. The sense that I see from it is when the whole world, the lens is focusing on her, even though she's trying to mind her own business, with the UK media focusing, lensing on her, everything that she does. And then if, let me just speak for myself, okay, because I'm not her, but my point of view is that I will be afraid to fail. So being afraid to fail will prevent people from even taking a step. So the resistance within Meghan is she just mind her own business and do the thing that she likes, and if it fails, it fails. If it doesn't fail, perfect, let's capitalize on it. So which is what we are seeing, the resistance of Meghan. Even though she's minding her own business, the royal family was trying to make her in need, to deprive her of everything. So the resistance of Meghan and Harry doing their own thing, they're financially independent, that drives them crazy. All right? This is the parallel. Every time you see things that's going on around the world, specifically in the United States, what Trump is trying to do and things like that, the resistance of Black Americans, you see it in Meghan. This is why when Meghan was in the UK, they did not like American. I think one of the royal rats was on one of those shows where she said something, she's American, she's this. They let it be known they don't like Americans. I don't know if specifically Black American, but the parallel again with Epstein do not want Blacks on their island, it's because of that. Because they know they're gonna be torturing against the will of those women or girls that they bring on their island. So if you bring a black American or Black person on the island, they will tell the other women, make them see reality. What the hell is going on? Why they doing team up to get these people out of there? These girls out of there. They did not want that. They want compliance. So this is why a lot of when voting in the United States, where a lot of foundational African American, I have to say that because they know what's going on. They study the system because they've been at the end of it, the brutality of it. So when they talk and said white women are part of the problem, this is that. Because even though these white women, not all, okay, majority of them, they know within their household there's that brutality, SA, sexual violence within their home and all of that. But yet when they go vote, they vote for that kind of thing. Some of the problem that got us Trump again, it's because of white women as well. Okay, I hope I make sense. Let's get back to the original recording. Okay, next tweet. Okay, there's this here. Someone tagged me on this. Prince William name and Epstein file as charity funding questions grow. Okay. If this were Harry, it would be blasted everywhere. Let's see here. Worst royal ever, crisis 85 years. Worst royal. Okay, so there's that. Okay, this is where the person tagged me. Alright, thanks for the article, Fernanda. And there's me responding. They tagged me on it. And I was like, oh shit. I literally, an hour ago. Alright, the British royal family has protected Prince Andrew for decades. They will threaten American media to withhold access to Prince William and Kate Middleton if they interview Andrew's victim. Alright, so there's this. For those who probably never come across it, let me let it play.
I've had the story for 3 years. I've had this interview with Virginia Roberts. We would not put it on the air. First of all, I was told, who's Jeffrey Epstein? No one knows who that is. This is a stupid story. Then the palace found out that we had her whole allegations about Prince Andrew and threatened us a million different ways. We were so afraid we wouldn't be able to interview Kate and Will that also quashed. I've had the story for 3.
This segment was recorded by accident because they were off the air, and then the conversation was happening, and then the tape was rolling. All right, let's see here. The donation described by Will Aid as unsolicited and unrelated to Williams' film participation sparked scrutiny over donor vetting, with Kensington Palace deferring question to the charity and no evidence indicating Williams' awareness. Okay, what's going on? Oh, please. Of course, they're gonna try to. You think they're gonna come out and say it's true? Alright, so there's all of this. Let's move on. Now, these are some discussion from Henry VIII. Henry VIII usually come up with some really good discussion. Okay, Royalism is a disease. So she retweeted that. Over the past week, there has been a spate of incidents where journalists have heckled members of the royal family during official engagement, seeking to confront them about the conduct of Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. Alright. Oh my God, that was long. Members of the royal family are not responsible or accountable for Andrew Mountbatten Windsor's moral transgression. Yes, they are. Yes, the royal family is. Even though they removed the prince out of his name, he is still a blood prince. Okay, Queen Elizabeth was his mother. That dictate he fall under the royal family. This is the thing. They're trying to create that gray area, as if removing prince mean that he's not part of the family. The same nonsense they try to do in the U.S. court, saying that they want to play it both ways, whichever they could benefit from. And court document, okay, regarding the Virginia Giuffre, I covered that intensely. You could go back to some of my videos. Okay, in court document, when Virginia Giuffre was trying to, get the thing going, to release, I think, the agreement with Epstein. For some reason, Andrew knew what was an agreement between Virginia Giuffre and Epstein. Okay? He has absolutely nothing to do with it. But when Virginia was trying to sue Andrew, and Andrew, this is how stupid he is. He brought up the agreement between Virginia Giuffre and Epstein. Now, Virginia signed an NDA to not talk about it. So since Andrew brought it up, so Virginia Giuffre said then she will have to ask the court, can they release the agreement, because she was not privy to talk about it due to the agreement that she signed. Otherwise, the estate of Epstein could sue Virginia Giuffre. So Andrew said, well, he was protected under the agreement, whatever Virginia Giuffre and Epstein. So the judge or either Virginia's lawyer said, then we need to see what was said in it. Okay? So the part where Andrew felt like how will I say, he is shielded, or Virginia cannot sue him, because in the agreement they worded perfectly. They used the word prince. Okay? So which means anybody who's prince around the world could fall under that category. It could be Prince William. Not that William has anything to do with it. I don't know yet. Okay? I'm just saying. Anybody who is prince. It could be Prince William, Prince Harry, or prince from another country. I don't know their name. Okay? Anyone who is a prince could fall under that category. Or Snowden or something like that. Could fall under that. So the judge said, your name is Prince Andrew, da 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 da. I don't see your name in that agreement for Virginia to not sue you. You're just a prince. It could be any prince. So this is why they had to pay that $12 million. Okay? For those who may not know. I covered it when I read the court document. I read it in that video. Okay? With my stupid accent, I read it. And this is my recollection of it. So he tried everything. He even tried to sue the Constitution of New York. Okay? To say, oh, the governor should not do this. I think, what was it? At that time, Governor Cuomo pushed back the date where victims of Epstein could sue. there was a deadline where they could not sue anymore. I think that had passed, and that governor of New York decided to extend it. And this is why, one of the reasons, many reasons, okay, not only does Trump want New York to be whatever the, oh my God, during election to win that number, what's the term, electoral college, that's the term I was looking, the whatever the amount of electoral college that New York has, he wants that. So he was trying to get rid of the governor. So when it's time to run for governor, you see all junkies of GOPs was trying to go for it, but the New Yorkers went for the right one. So many branches, okay, because there was so much going on in New York. For Trump, he wanted the electoral college, and also for the Virginia Guthrie thing to not take place. But the governor at that time, Governor Cuomo, decided to extend the Victim Act. Okay? Okay, so I went on ChatGPT. I asked Google as well, but it didn't really give me the full. Okay, maybe that. Okay. How many? Oh, that's not the question. Where is it? This one. Did the Governor Cuomo of New York extend the sexual violence law? Governor, maybe that's the one question. The governor signed bill to extend statute of limitation. That was that. Okay. Get help for workplace discrimination, family law violence, or sexual assault, healthcare, and more. Okay, we upload Governor Cuomo. Okay, he was the one at that time. Maybe ChatGPT will extend it. Okay, yes, as governor, Andrew Cuomo did sign and extend laws in New York that affect how sexual violence cases can be brought, including extended the statute of limitation for certain claims. Here's a clear breakdown. Okay, you could pause your screen and read. All right, so the last thing here, the conclusion. Yes, his office extended the Child Victim Act filing window during the pandemic, so survivors won't lose the chance to sue. Okay, during the pandemic. Okay, Trump let the pandemic come in. I mean, I'm telling you, this is why I said, the universe always try to balance things. This idiot let the pandemic come in, and now as a result of it, during the pandemic, a lot of people were staying home. They were isolating. So out of that, Governor Cuomo extended it. And Virginia Guthrie took the chance to sue Andrew about that, because some of the crime took place in Manhattan. And Epstein mentioned in Manhattan. Okay? I've shared all of this. This is why now I'm not so surprised about any of these. I know the foundation of it, to a certain extent. All right, so why did I bring all of this? Where was that? Which okay, so I bring so many topics and that discussion, I forgot my main point. Maybe when I'm editing, I'll see my chain of thought will probably come up, then I'll put a sidetrack. Okay, I forgot why I bring all of this, but at least you get to see some of the branches of things. Okay, members of the royal family are not responsible or accountable for Andrew Mountbatten. Okay, so that's where I was like, yes, he is part of it, because he is still a prince. Okay, that's where all of this came in. And I brought in the Virginia Guthrie thing with Epstein, the NDA, and Andrew claimed he fall under the prince, the whatever agreement that Virginia Guthrie had with Epstein. And then when they look into it, they find the word prince, but Andrew Mountbatten Windsor was nowhere near it. Okay? To harangue them during public duties is extremely and unduly discourteous and undermine the important civic purposes those engagement intend to serve. His Majesty the King acted decisively to remove Andrew Mountbatten Windsor from public, divesting him of his dignity and style, depriving him of his income and family. Okay, so you deprive him of his income. This is why some of the squad are saying, okay, he's living in that mansion. How? He's not working. How does he provide for himself? And finally, in the last 2 days, evicting him from Royal Lodge, we urge journalists to uphold the standard of their own profession and afford the family appropriate respect and courtesy during official duties. Okay, now I see why some of the squad were saying some of the things. The moment the royal family allowed the media to go after Harry and Meghan, this thing is revoked. This is what journalism is supposed to do. Find information. So now you're saying for them not to do their journalistic thing? What kind of thing is that? This is why the Sussex squad been saying leave Harry and Meghan alone, because they had nothing to do with the nonsense that they were writing about of them. So now you're saying to stop? This is why I don't see any of the royal rats saying their BS online. Members of the royal family are not responsible or accountable for Andrew Mountbatten Windsor's moral transgressions. To rank them in public during official engagement is extremely and unduly discourteous and undermine the important civil purposes those engagements intend to serve. They revoke that the moment they allow things for Harry and Meghan. Okay, I probably need to put this on my community, but hopefully I remember. Are you serious? The royal family cover Prince Andrew Epstein was herding girls inside palaces. He writes on emails that the palace advised him repeatedly Sarah got thousands from Epstein money. They are hugely responsible for what happened. Yeah. King Charles is currently moving Andrew into a new mansion on his Sandringham estate and paying all of his expenses going forward, including security. He protects Andrew for years despite knowing exactly what he was doing with Epstein. The public has every right to ask questions. Yep. Alright. Your royals being decisive in 2020 after knowing for years what he did. Somebody should inquire why Queen Elizabeth II changed her mind on Camilla being queen after Charles gave her the money for Andrew's settlement. They used the good, kind royal as scapegoat to protect Andrew. King Charles III and Prince William are all guilty of protecting Andrew Windsor. So there's that. The royal family have a relationship with the Jeffrey Epstein. Why will they ask Epstein for help in suing a U.S. tabloid? That is true, because when Epstein had issues in Florida with Virginia, what is it? Andrew insert himself into that. I have it. It's in one of my videos. This is why my channel is not doing too well. I cover all of these already. Okay? As if his name, the prestige, well, now we know it's not prestige anymore, it's dirt, garbage, that he used his name to give Epstein favorable treatment, or what would you call it, a leeway, so they don't punish him that well in Florida. Okay, what was Prince Edward doing visiting Epstein Island? Oh, was he there too? Why did Prince William accept money from Epstein? This situation has nothing to do with Prince Andrew. Okay. His Majesty the King acted decisively to remove Andrew Mountbatten Windsor from public life. 1. He's still breathing, failing that. He's not in the Tower of London for the rest of his natural. Okay, monarchy is apparently a loose enough institution that you, whoever you are, suppose you can borrow their voice to sound authoritative in this "Be Nice Children" statement. So I am sure Charles can speak with authority about his professional association and brother. Assisting an offender. Cheer, there's that. To all the people being held responsible for their younger siblings' action. Next tweet. There might be part 1 and part 2. I'm already, you know what? Let's stop now, because I will create another video. Okay, so please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. If you want to support this channel, there's a PayPal link and a Cash App link in the description. You could donate. Those who have donated, thank you. The next tweet that I'm gonna start with is gonna be this. I'm not even sure this is the right one. Okay, with Henry VIII. Is that the same thing again? Okay, let's see here. It's insane that the vibe from the UK press is that it's somehow unfair for their senior royals to be heckled about Andrew. you know what, since I'm here, let's just add it. A reminder that victims of sex trafficking cannot consent regardless of their age. So at best, Andrew assaulted adults. That's literally the best outcome here. That was one of their defense. Okay, I'm glad I'm keeping this one here. One of his defense he was trying to do, they were trying to do in New York, was that the age of consent. I think the age of consent either 18 or 17 in New York. So they claimed that Virginia was age of consent in New York. Each state, okay, for those who are not new to this, outside of the US, different states have different laws, different age of consent. Okay, I think in New York the age of consent is either 17 or 18. All right. So when Virginia Giuffre was suing Andrew in New York, one of his excuse, because he did not want this to move forward, he wanted the judge to throw the case out. So one of many excuses that he used was age of consent. So in New York, let's just say USA, we could see the map. All right, consent 18. Federal law mandates that individual must be at least 18 to consent to sexual activity if the activity involves interstate travel or online communication with a minor. Okay, 18 is the age of consent. But when we look like, let's see, and okay, let's pick this for instance, different states. And I think New Mexico was one of those places they took some of their victims. I think, what's the age of consent for New Mexico? Okay, New Mexico, okay, is the same thing as Texas and New York as well. There's New York over here, Texas, there's New Mexico, 17. There's other state that's 16. Okay, Washington, oh wow, there's a lot of them is 16. Okay, Florida is 18, Tennessee, different, California. Okay, North Dakota, okay, 18. So different, it seems like a lot of the states are 16. Is that new as of 2023? Okay, but the key point here, different states have different age of consent. Okay, New York is 17. So when Virginia was trying to call Andrew to court for the sexual violence that she went through under him and on Epstein's mansion in Manhattan, so he used different excuses. One of the things that I said already is age of consent, the Constitution, because of Governor Cuomo extending the date in which sexual violent victim can pursue, justice in the court system. So he tried to use as many way as possible for the case to not move forward. Okay, the age of consent was one of them. But the judge says, okay, even though she was legally to be consent to be in a sexual relationship with Andrew, the fact that the victim said no, that's all it took for the judge for the case to move forward. She said no. That was it. N-O. When they said no, you stop. But he did not stop. Okay? So, let's continue. I had to go through all of this. Oh my God. So at best, Andrew assaulted adults. That's literally the best outcome here. The publicly funded institution that continues to cover him should be questioned. Okay? There's that. Like, you cannot make this shit up. Okay? So there's that thing again. Like, they cannot... I read it a few minutes ago. They could also heckle Charles about his curiously consistent choices of confidants and mentors. That is true. I mean, then the UK had this thing about freedom of speech or something. What's that news station that created in the last 2 or 3 years ago? Well, with Piers Morgan, they freedom of speech and things like that. So now that they're asking them questions, they don't want people to ask questions, and then they're taking millions of dollars from the taxpayers. This is why the squad was saying, leave Harry and Meghan alone. This thing here that they're trying to say people cannot ask questions have been revoked the moment that they allow the media to go after Harry and Meghan. That have been revoked. They never stood for Harry or tell the media to stop.
Much of the negativity towards the couple is coming from within the royal family. The royal family and staff of the royal family are the ones that are very often leaking these stories to the press.
Alright, so that's that. Okay, I add this to the list. So the next video that I'm gonna do, I already did the closer. We're gonna start with this. I think it's gonna talk about the Boeing as well. All of them could fit easily here. Alright, so that's that. I need to stop.
It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness and please come back.
As you saw me find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life. You are all in this together, and if I may speak personally, we are all in this together, because asking for help was one of the best decisions that I ever made. You will be continually amazed how life changes for the better.